When talking of Rob Green Motorsport, a couple of images spring to mind. Images of race-tuned BMWs fed with whining superchargers and nitrous-fueled Mini Coopers capable of destroying most supercars with a flick of a switch. Together with brother Steve, Rob Green has created the ultimate tuning haven for most quick things on four wheels, particularly the ones bearing the BMW M badge. Being in the performance industry for the past decade or so, Rob Green Motorsport pride themselves in most things driven by force, and nothing more so than a supercharger. Pin Diesel investigates the Vortec phenomenon.
This is the reason why we're here today. It says no entrance, but I'm going to go find Rob. I got to speak to this man. Yo, some serious racing cars down here. And here we have Rob's supercharged nitrous BMW.
Rob's famous M3 is a serious machine. Sporting a 3.2-litre supercharged motor, Rob has taken his 500 horsepower brute to a 10.9-second quarter mile and has also completed a 1.2 kilometre top-end run with a recorded speed of 293 kilometres an hour.
Anthony, I started off with BMW in 1986. Started doing my apprenticeship there at Stuart Bromfield Lyndhurst. Got a little bit involved with the Alpina side at that stage. From there, started getting involved with chip tuning and dyno work, etc.
Why is supercharging, Vortec supercharging, so much more than turbocharging? Is there a reason for this?
The cost behind it.
Yeah.
Anthony, at the end of the day, the turbocharged conversions that I have seen done in South Africa are mostly based on second-hand turbo conversions that the guys buy and recondition and that. I haven't seen many, and I stand to correction. What I've only seen is that there's no new turbocharged units being fitted to the cars. And I think also the quality of the components over here, where all our components, all aluminium lightweight pipes, all pipes that keep the boost temperatures cool, very nicely welded, polished, presentation at the end of the day, and total reliability. So all the components that we do use are extremely high quality. The supercharger itself, the Vortec unit, okay, which is an absolutely stunning supercharger. Vortec is made in America, all right, with a lot of aircraft technology and design. The impeller itself, if you have a look at the workmanship and the casting on the impeller, all the balance marks, the whole lot. It's really a stunning unit. You can look at the casting, the machine quality, all the machining. When I was talking earlier on about oil-fed and gravitational return, on the side it's got a port that comes in. Inside the gearbox section of the supercharger, is a gear ratio. In this case, the step-up is 3.45 to 1. The step-up ratio is on straight-cut gears. That is why the supercharger is also quite noisy in operation. You can hear the sound of these vehicles, and if you would like, I'll start up the yellow one just now. So that's one of the reasons why you hear a lot of the sound and activity. How it works: driven off the crankshaft onto an input pulley. We use a Gilmore on the top, Gilmore pulley on the top, and a Gilmore on the drive. So this part over here, the crank pulley, goes onto the crankshaft, driven through a cog belt, which is very known as a Gilmore belt, similar to a cam belt in a normal car. So, driven into the supercharger. In this case, we're using a clockwise unit. That's a clockwise unit. Spinning. As she turns, air is drawn in. Okay, so she's turning there. She's drawing the air in and compressing the air in the scroll. This is known as the scroll section of the. This is a centrifugal supercharger. At a drag strip, you'll see a huge supercharge on top of the engine. That's also a Roots type blower. Generally, Roots type superchargers have got a low-down characteristic that is better than a centrifugal. It makes plenty boost low-down, but it seems to fall off as the revs go up. In this case, with a centrifugal supercharger, as the higher you rev it, the more boost she starts making. So if you look at your boost map, from the corner to the top corner, it's just boosting all the way.
Rob, this is a customer's car you're supercharging over here, no?
Dead right, Anthony. This.
You've got to take everything apart like this.
Okay, what happens is the engine's basically stripped down to this state. Cylinder head is removed. In this case, we are lowering the compression to 8.5 to 1 by means of a decompression gasket. There's a decompression plate that's sandwiched between two cylinder head gaskets. The large air-to-air intercooler is fitted, and we can get this vehicle in the region of 275 to 280 kilowatts on the wheels.
What do they make standard?
On the wheels, 150 on a 3.2. So it's a vast improvement. That gives us in a region of 417, 420 kilowatts on the motor. Now for a street car, it's a hell of a lot of good power. All right, we program the vehicle through the Dustec Unichip and the map sensor. This is a little map sensor over here. So the whole car runs on a little pipe. That is giving us the manifold pressure where we'll map it.
Fuel consumption on this car, one supercharge. Is there a big difference between the standard unit and the supercharging? What's the difference?
Yeah, Anthony, I think in the first few weeks when you get it back, the consumption is probably 4 times as much as it would normally be. And the reason is there that you've got your foot flat down and you're really enjoying it. But the car will scare you. You'll get a fright a few times. And at the end of the day, you'll drive it, which I call civilized, but controllable. But the consumption, in the long run, the consumption is actually lighter than a normal car. And the reason being is that the car has got so much power and so much low-down torque that you're not changing gears. And also, fuel-injected cars, how they work is you've got a throttle position switch. So on most cars that are underpowered, you would be putting full throttle all the time, which the computer says, fine, open me up, I'll just dump fuel, because now when now we're going. So you're not riding as on maximum throttle position all the time. Come along to Rainbow and come watch some racing, or go into the Rainbow website and have a look at the next events on.
The much-anticipated North versus South series ended at a jam-packed Killarney Raceway in Cape Town at the beginning of December. Approximately 20,000 race-hungry spectators witnessed a Gauteng drag racing contingent take on their local Cape heroes. Being the brainchild of the only tyre manufacturing company recognizing the fastest-growing sport in South Africa today, Yokohama South Africa, in conjunction with Speed and Sound magazine, have created a national drag racing series for all race fans countrywide. Although a lot of Johannesburg qualifiers couldn't make the Cape leg, Gauteng representatives with the Speed and Sound drag team, Dupi du Plessis with his 11-second MR2, the Jordan families with their potent 9-second Nissan Bakkies, and a host of other Johannesburg street racers such as Skalk Hotzenberg and Dion Kitchenbrandt. The Cape had some serious artillery like Willie Nell's V8 Can-Am, Robbie Ferroli's twin-engine Golf, Nazam Esser's 11-second Opel Superboss, and Ahmad's turbocharged box-shaped BMW seen here. The racing was competitive with either side going all out to win. Fastest of the day was Gauteng's Richard Jordan in his Nissan Bakkie with a 10.3 second quarter-mile run. Cape Town's Robbie Ferroli came second at 10.5 seconds, but with an amazing speed of 237 kilometers an hour. Ending fourth overall, Willie Nell's Can-Am boasts a massive V8 Chevy motor with a 3-stage nitrous oxide system. Years ago, the Chevy happened to be the first street car to hit the 10-second bracket in Gauteng, and since then, Willie has achieved a 9-second run in Killarney. Let's check out the rest of the action and the results. Over the past year, the renowned Speed and Sound Super Street Drag team has become a household name amongst its readers and enthusiasts countrywide. The first drag car to bear SNS livery belongs to the much-feared Theo Knipe, or as is known in drag racing circles, the Hitman. Initially recognized in spearheading Speed and Sound's assault on all major drag events and nationals, Theo's modified Opel Kadett 200 TS is a vehicle not to be taken lightly. And luckily for him, he has a backup team of 12 other Speed and Sound racers, like Paul van Niekerk and his 290 kilowatt Golf. Filled with a 2-litre 16-valve turbocharged motor, the lightweight Volkswagen has helped Paul cross the quarter mile in a time of 12.5 seconds. And today, we paired the two up for a bit of Golf versus Opel action.
I'm here with Paul Demo van Niekerk. We're going to have a chat about his little racing car here. So Paul, how are you?
Well in yourself, Anthony. Standard 2-litre 16-valve Golf engine, T4 Garrett, turbo, custom-made exhaust branch, Turbonetics Evolution 2 wastegate. It's got a limited slip diff, long ratio 5-speed. It's capable of plus minus 280 k's an hour. Does 250 k's an hour on a kilometre sprint.
After squeezing more power, the torque figure has now shot up to a monstrous 500 Newton meters. Paul battles to keep the Golf in a straight line, especially racing the tough 1-kilometre sprints. Safety is priority.
Okay, Paul, I see you've done some changes to the interior. What have you done to the interior of this car?
The interior itself, it's fitted with a TNT full race roll cage. It's got 2 raceline bucket seats, obviously it's for support. It's got 4-point harness, which you need obviously when you're racing a car like this. Otherwise, it's got a Momocore steering wheel. It's obviously fitted with a fire extinguisher in case of a fire.
To keep a close eye on the motor, Paul has also fitted aftermarket warning gauges, the obligatory boost gauge, a rev counter with shift light to prevent any dropping of valves, and a high-low boost switch to take on Golf-hating Opels.
Is this car going to be ready today?
It's ready. It's going to be ready in a minute or two.
Is this a normal Golf problem?
No. This is unfortunate. You see, the climate out here is very hot today.
It's like being in the desert sort of thing.
Definitely,
So we're having a desert run, you could say. Okay, Dick stories, huh? Theo, how are you, Theo? Are you that racing this out today?
No, I heard about it.
He reckons he's going to give you Shire, bro.
He's first got to get his heating problem sorted out.
I agree with you then. Are you scared of this car?
No, I hope he's got enough water.
Don't you guys like get argue and slap each other around in like change rooms and stuff?
No, not at all. That's why we ride Opels and not Golfs. Because
I agree with you.
we don't stand on the side of the road.
Theo from the SNS Super Street Drag team.
It's a 1994 Opel TS. I bought it stock standard. And then the bug hit me. And I decided to modify it a little bit. And then as we, little bit just grew more and more and more. And as what you see here today, it's quite strong. It's built by Dion Kitchen brand. He done the motor for me, and then Mo of Speedway Auto, he dynoed it. It pushes about anything in the region of 277 to 300 kilowatts on the wheels, depending obviously on conditions and depending on boost that we're running as well. Reasonably strong, as I said, does the quarter mile in the best of a 12.3, and yeah, it's my baby. Yeah? I'm very proud of it.
Yeah, why did you choose an Opel? Was there a reason for this?
Man, actually yes. I had looked at a couple of cars, and then the strongest cars that was running around at those times were Opels. And I seemed to like the motor, and then mutually meeting Dion Kitchen brand, and he's an Opel guru. And as a result of that, it just grew on me.
So you and your friend Jerry, you are like both into the Opel thing. Do you have like competition between each other?
No, friendly rivalry, no competition. We support each other a lot.
So you help him, he helps you.
That's it. We're big buddies.
Yeah, and have you spent quite a bit of money in this car?
Yeah, I wouldn't like to put the figure down, just in case people is listening that shouldn't be. But yeah, it's worked out a good couple of thousand of rand. But it's money worth well spent. I must
enjoy this car?
Oh yes, for sure.
Why not a Golf?
I know, I'd rather kick the Golf's ass than build one.
Yeah, I noticed you've done a couple of modifications inside the car. Who does this for you? Did you yourself?
On the modifications, what we decided to do, because the car weighs that much, we decided to go through a bit of a weight reduction. And I took it through to Big Boss Auto, Justin, because I saw what he's done to Anidim's Speed and Sound Uno. The workmanship was quite good. I left it in his capable hands, and I told him, I need to have the weight reduced, and at the end of the day, that's what he gave me.
So he put the roll cage, the racing seats, all the fancy little bits in the car.
Yes, he done all that, even the carpeting as well. He done everything, even done the door panels as well. And he chose the color scheme, chrome roll cage and things. And at the end of the day, that came out quite good.
Yeah, do you use this car on a daily basis, or is it just a racing car?
No, it's just a pure toy. Pure toy. We just use it for racing purposes. But one thing nice about it, we drive it to the track, we race it there, and we drive it back home again.
So no need to travel in a trailer like some of the other racing cars we know.
Only long distances, but otherwise locally, no. Yeah.
The police factor.
Yes. No, rather nothing about that. The Metro cops don't seem to like me or this car.
Even though the Golf couldn't rectify its minor overheating problem, both Paul, Theo and the other SNS drag team members are forever racing each other for fun and pure enjoyment. And that's exactly how racing is supposed to be. Check out future Showtime episodes for the explosive rematch. They say dynamite comes in small packages, and this particularly loud Uno is no exception. Dubbed being a pavement pounder for its ground-shaking, ear-splitting bass tones, the Uno is testament to P&P Car Sound's dedication in raising the standard of SPL and sound quality in South Africa. Packed with the latest in car entertainment from the Rockford Fosgate stable, this baby will simply blow you away.
This is P&P Car Sound in Boksburg. We had to check out the awesome looking Uno. Richard, what does SPL stand for? What does it mean?
SPL is sound pressure level. It's basically how much pressure you can compress into a passenger cell in a vehicle. And it's as simple as that. It's no front stage, it's no stereo, it's just bass.
So it's not like for the normal guy on the road to drive around with?
No, you've got to sacrifice room, you've got to sacrifice your vehicle, and it doesn't play music. It's just a fixed note. Certainly you'll find the entry level, as far as age goes, young guys all into SPL. They'll all come in and ask, how much dB will this car of mine produce? And it's just a misconception. Sound quality is the more important part, and SPL on a sound quality vehicle is generally lower. So yes, we do get a lot of people asking for SPL vehicles, but not for the true SPL vehicle.
And the reason for this car being built, what was that for?
Well, people, especially the younger guys, egos become a very big thing, and everyone wants to have the biggest and meanest sound system, as well as being able to hear the voices, the clarity, the instruments, not just the bass. So it's a pavement pounder. It's a worldwide thing that's taking over, where you can park your car somewhere and literally pound the pavement for blocks and blocks and just enjoy it, and also reliability. You don't want something that's switching off every 5 minutes. You want something to last the whole day, and just to show everyone that you've got the biggest, baddest system.
So this car's got the best of both worlds. It's got the bass, it's got the sound quality, and that's basically what this car's about then.
Yes, it is. It's neither sound quality and it's neither purely SPL. It's a mixture of both. It's a very strong musical car. This is the biggest and the baddest amplifiers you can get. Made by Rockford Fosgate, years ahead in technology, using only the best aircraft materials, heat dissipating circuitry. Basically, a lot of equipment produces power, but very little equipment in the world is powerful and reliable. You get your Class B amplifiers, which is your common amplifiers, which is reliable, yet not powerful. Then you get Class D amplifiers, which are very powerful, but not reliable. Rockford has patented the BD amplifier, so it is not only powerful, but reliable. We've got two amplifiers here. The larger of the three, the one on the left, the one on the right. They are monoblock amplifiers, meaning they only produce mono signal, which is singular for bass. They produce 1,800 RMS each at 2 ohms. We're currently running them at 4 ohms, which means they're only producing 1,000 RMS each. So each sub has its own power supply. And the middle amplifier, the baby of the three, is a 2-channel amp, so it's a stereo amplifier, which is running the 2 speakers in the front, which reproduce your mid-bass, mid-range, and treble. We needed something that would recline, so we could give people access to the rear, to the machines that produce the bass behind. Behind there, we've got two 15-inch subwoofers made by Lightning Audio, which is also a Rockford Fosgate company. Each sub is a quad voice coil, not a dual voice coil, but a quad voice coil. Each sub produces 1,000 RMS. So we've got those two with neodymium magnets. You can remove the magnets, put ceramic magnets. You can actually build up the subwoofer you want. You choose the magnet, you choose the cone, you bolt it together. and you've got what you need.
Do you buy this in a box and you get all the different accessories, or do you have to go to the shop and change
You
it?
come to us, you choose the cone that you want, either the material, whether it's going to be an aluminium or a glass fiber construction, you choose the diameter, and then you choose the type of magnet, if it's ceramic or if it's going to be neodymium. Neodymium offers you much more power at half the weight.
And is there a price difference on the magnets, and obviously?
Yeah, big difference. But so is the performance. So the difference between price is well worth it.
And is there a reason for the head unit being outside the car, not inside the car?
Well, it doesn't need to be out the car. The car does cause the dashboard to vibrate, but that's not the reason. The reason is when we go to shows, often two people will like to sit in the car. So it allows us the freedom to operate the system outside with no fingers damaging anything. Simply, you can't do custom work in the boot of the car and then let the installation down by having a straightforward front installation. You've got your door handle incorporated, and down here we've got two mid-range speakers because we have to put two pairs simply to keep up with the bass of the vehicle. And then the two tweeters up at the top for your treble. The great thing about these speakers is that the magnet is located in the center of the speaker in the front. That little round thing with the inverted L's on it is actually neodymium magnets. So there's no magnet behind the speaker anymore.
What's the reason for that?
Shallow mount. Like the new Golfs, it's a full piece of glass. There's no room for the magnet, so throw the magnet in the front. More efficient and much smaller magnet.
Coating the Uno is an applicated vinyl graphic which to most resembles an airbrushed work of art. The overall car audio design and detail is extraordinary, none more so than the time-consuming fiberglass construction which houses the two massive subwoofers located behind the blue sports seats.
As far as custom fiberglass work goes, there's always filler involved, fiberglass as well as timber. As you can see from this door panel for Superboss, you get your basic shapes, you make sure that it's absolutely spotless. If you're going to use a vinyl, you can get away with a few inaccuracies, but when you're spraying it, there's no mercy. Once you've rubbed it, prepared it, it then gets primed as per car. And then if you move on to the left, you will see the rear molding for a Peugeot that's about to go in for a Peugeot convertible, a finished sprayed panel, two 12-inch subwoofers with the amplifier that will go in the center.
As you all know, car audio is measured in decibels. A passenger airliner measures in at approximately 110. P&P Car Sounds Uno will measure way over the 150 mark, which proves Richard's theory: sometimes small is best. No, it's not a German touring car, but the blindingly quick Sav-Speed M3 Turbo, seen here piloted by Sav Galtieri. Previously modified by a passionate BMW enthusiast and now tuned, raced and owned by Sav, the E36 is built for reliability and pure enjoyment. The M3 has been extensively modified and upgraded to handle anything thrown at it, capable of running with supercars and blitzing track records without raising much of a sweat. And the best thing is that it's only running on 0.6 bar boost on normal pump fuel. Sav tells us what it takes to build an M3 Turbo.
Basically, it's a 3.2 litre M3 motor. We all know that the 3.2 M3 motor, or even the M3 motor in general, is a benchmark motor. So in doing the upgrades, we had to be very careful because you've got a lot of components that are on the limit already. So we went very carefully. We obviously fitted our custom, or should I say, patented exhaust manifold, which we designed at Sav-Speed for the vehicle. It's made of a SG42 iron, so it's a very can maintain a lot of heat and doesn't crack. Again, whatever we do in the car, we try and make it reliable. Reliability is what is important on doing a conversion, especially when you're spending the money, that you get your money's worth.
Yeah. What quarter miles does this car run?
The best quarter mile is a 12.8. It battles off the line. The car is still fully laden M3. There's nothing lightweight on the car besides the carbon fiber grills and odds and ends on the car and the seats that have been removed. 12.8 basically is a decent time for a car of its stature. It's basically coming down about 2.5 seconds from the original, or just on 2 seconds, should I say. And it's quite a big gap if you look at it in terms of quarter mile. People who understand that will understand the difference in speeds. It's about 40 kilometers an hour quicker over the 400 meters. If you take your average Lamborghini, Murcielago even, that car is a factory-built car. Will run probably under 13 seconds as well, not much lower than a 12.5. And you've got to take into consideration what you're spending, and the car is four-wheel drive, which gives it better traction. This car can compete with that, especially on a roll-on, and still drive around every day. Go to Durban as well if it has to.
Tell me, the top end in this car, what have you taken this car to? Let's say on a kilometer.
On a kilometer sprint, the car is capable of just under 250 kilometers an hour. Again, the car runs on fairly low boost. It runs on about 0.6, 0.7 bar boost. We keep the boost down because, again, like I said earlier on, the M3 motor is such a motor on its limit. And when a customer comes out and spends the money that he does, you want him to enjoy the car. And that 80% increase in power is more than enough. Unfortunately, with turbochargers, guys feel the power, they want more all the time. So if a guy specifically comes for a race motor, we'll give him a race motor. Then he's going to expect it to brake. But if a guy comes who wants an everyday driver for, a speed enthusiast, then, we build him something like this, which will give him the upgrades that he's asked for.
And for those guys that are watching this now, what would a motor like this go for if I wanted to build something like this for myself?
A 0.6, 0.7 bar boost motor like this will set you back at about 68,000. It includes everything from turbo manifold, decompressing of the motor, reconning of the motor, all the manifolds, management systems, everything that goes with it, exhaust system, clutch system. It won't need the 1,000 horsepower clutch, obviously. It will just need an upgraded M3 clutch kit that will run with a button clutch. But other than that, that's basically the power you're looking at. If a guy wants something more than that, it can cost over 100,000 rand.
And what is this car worth standing here?
To the enthusiast, probably about 385.
Sure.
To a normal man on the street, doesn't know the difference, probably worth what it's worth.
Gracing the interior are numerous carbon fiber panels, an aluminium short shifter, various AC Schnitzer items, as well as a set of body-hugging Cobra race seats equipped with 4-point harnesses. The handling department is taken care of with added AC Schnitzer strut braces in the front and rear, as well as an adjustable KW suspension kit bringing the chassis closer to the rather expensive 17-inch OZ wheels.
Suspension is probably the best, or should I say, in ways of upgraded you can do in this car. It's a KW suspension. It's fully adjustable from camber to caster to everything, bound, rebound, brilliant system. We had the car on the track, and unbelievable in terms of handling. It managed to run a 1 minute 12 around Swartkorps Raceway, and I was driving, which is not the car could have gone quicker. So basically, it's really makes the car a better package in terms of safety. That's what you really want. You want the car to be safe.
SAV is catered for every aspect of the BMW with the best aftermarket performance products available today. And driving with more than double the output of a standard M3, it's understandable. It sure looks Japanese, but to some it doesn't look like an Uno at all, more like a Nissan Sunny with bits and bobs stolen from a Subaru. The XL Uno Turbo has steered away from the conventional 8-valve Uno conversions by adding something a little different, like 8 extra valves, outrageous body styling and a whacked-out interior. To some it may look overdone, but to others it looks the part of a fully fledged street racer. Taking almost a year to complete, the Uno Turbo is the brainchild of owner Costa Petsas as well as Mark Jonker, chief whip of XL Performance Products, which deal primarily in the manufacturing of wastegates, blow-off valves and other performance-related products.
This was a stock standard Uno Turbo that we started modifying. We stripped the whole car down to the bone, no wiring, no nothing. It's actually taken us 1,500 man-hours to get this far. We've still got a lot of sorting out to do in that. On the drive shafts and gearbox side to keep that working. But as is, this car is driven every day on the road. It's not a car that's pulled away on trailers or anything like that. It's used every day on the road. It's very comfortable to drive in for 2 people, logically, not for more than 2 people. And that was the whole objective behind it. Have a street car that's quicker than your average street car. That was the whole objective that we started with this. As this car is standing, it's a Uno, and this car is going way over 200,000 Rand as it's standing. The actual body shop that did the paintwork on this car, they came up with putting the grille, mounting it onto the actual bonnet, which this is a very sophisticated look for a little car like this. It looks great. Then the vents on the car, it's not an overkill. Every vent is there for a reason. The 2 outside vents are there to get some hot air out of the engine bay, and the center vent is to force feed cool air down into the intake of the turbo, which logically takes down your intake temperature on your combustion chambers.
The hybrid T2.5 T3 Garrett turbocharger pumps out excessive boost into the 16-valve Fiat Palio head, which took almost 2 months to fit onto the rest of the motor. Finishing off the engine conversion is the unusually positioned exhaust piece.
It's been built by JMS Motorsport for me, especially for this vehicle. Why I took it out the front is, first of all, weight, because we want all of the weight in front over the driving wheels, and logically the shorter the exhaust is, the less weight you've got. So we've saved about 15 kgs just on weight by taking it out the front. The whole concept behind the car was just to show all of the XL customers out there that we're not fools. We are working on our products the whole time, upgrading everything.
An SNS shootout saw the XL Uno finish first out of 16 competitors with a 13.1 seconds quarter-mile time.
I hear you from Rustenburg, so you must have the fastest car there then.
Oh, apparently, but I'm not too sure. If I get to a robot, a lot of guys think twice.
When it comes to competitive drag racing, having a lightweight vehicle helps in achieving proper times and speeds. Here, the back seats were ripped out and replaced with aluminium stacco, while the front seats were ditched for lighter formula design alternatives complete with harnesses. The dashboard and console were completely redesigned in order to house the gadgetry and relevant performance gauges, as well as the custom-made speedometer counter, which sits on top facing the driver. All these, like the shift light, are connected to a Heltac management system, which boasts interesting features like launch control.
The car's standing still, and I'm going to make it boost up to 1 bar with no effort at all.
With a boost set on 1 bar, the claimed power figure is 150 kilowatts. We think it's time to crank up the boost, boys.
Okay, let's go, guys. Feels like lekker. I'm not on lekker in this car, eh? Okay, that's fine. Don't go too fast, eh?